Black fatigue. People are tired of black people. Every time you look up, some Negroes arguing about something.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on.
You think America's racist? Let me tell you where's racist. You know the most racist place? Africa.
Oh, yeah.
You ever been to Africa? You Hutu, you're Tutu,
Right.
you're Boo-Boo. Like, they're fucking killing each other, having genocide. They all look the fucking same. And perhaps there'll be the odd scenario where you feel like you're being treated differently because of your skin color and a negative, but also you're not talking about all of the times you were treated in a positive because of your skin color. Perhaps because you're a big black man, you have problems in police stops, but you ain't got problems walking alone at night like a little white person does.
I didn't expect to be fact-checking grown men that look like me, but here we are, 2025.
They're expecting a little white woman to walk past 5 big Negroes in the middle of inner city Chicago and be like, don't be racist, Jane. Don't be racist, Jane. Sometimes I'm white, sometimes I'm black, depends on what mood I'm in.
Oh no, this can't be. It says I'm 102% African with a 2% margin of error. Why, Lord? Why, Lord? Why?
So let's break down everything that they said in this weird video, from Africa being more racist to race being genetic, and show you exactly how it all falls apart the second that you apply any form of logic, history, or even basic empathy. Because I'll be honest, I watched this video and it was difficult to get through. There was a lot of cooning going on.
This huge preposition with racism, and they seem to think this is a racist country. Like, you motherfuckers haven't been anywhere.
Yeah.
Because this is the least racist nation on the planet. You think America's racist? Let me tell you where's racist. You know the most racist place? Africa.
Oh, yeah.
You ever been to Africa? You Hutu, you're Tutu, you're Boo-Boo. Like, they're fucking killing each other, having genocide. They all look the fucking same. They're pulling out machetes. Look at the Rwandan genocide. I couldn't even tell the two teams. They're running around fucking swinging blades. Bro, the whole world's fucking racist.
Killing each other over nothing.
Over nothing. Hutu, Tutu, your nose shape.
They
I don't
got
know the
this
fuck.
huge continent. You got all these black people. You got all these resources.
All they do is kill.
And they're probably the poorest continent in the world.
Of course.
They have no leadership, and their culture is just broken.
Okay, first off, that's not racism. That is the aftermath of colonialism. Because in 1884, European powers literally made it their main duty and task to sit around a table, I think it was at the Berlin Conference, and literally draw borders through tribes, cultures, and languages. This was systematic. And it's these artificial borders that created the conflicts that we still see today. Because it's not a black issue, it's a colonial wound. But this is clearly something that's going right over their heads. And when they say Africa is poor, that's another half truth, because let's be honest, Africa is resource rich.
It's one of the richest regions in the world. You find everything in West Africa.
Africa is not poor. We are rich in our natural resources.
It is now and it always has been. Africa is rich with things like gold, cobalt, oil. It's just that, let's be honest, it's not Africans that really benefit from this, because most of the profits goes to Western corporations. Because even countries like France to this day are still getting in billions every year from African countries through these colonial era currency deals. And that's not a culture problem, that is literal exploitation. So when they're trying to compare the issues with Africa and versus America, what they're doing is they're just strawmanning. They're missing the major context to how these countries became how they are today. They're willfully choosing to ignore how one has bled the other dry and still does to this day. And that is extremely disingenuous. Because it's not this broken country that is just, destined to fail. It's surviving theft on a global scale.
Do you consider yourself to be African American?
Well, there's times. I'm like the day walker. I swap in and out. It depends.
Right.
Like I had an auntie. She's black and she talks like a white woman until she gets mad. Then she's Jamaican.
Yeah.
You ever had one of them?
Yeah, definitely.
That's like me.
Yeah.
Depends what mood I'm in.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm white, sometimes I'm black. Depends what mood I'm in.
Okay, let's address the elephant in the room, guys. These are biracial people. They have the ability and they're making the choice to choose, to pick and choose when they want to be black for their convenience. And I think that right there just shows how disconnected they are from what it even means to be black. And I know I'm saying this as someone who lives in the UK. I don't understand the American experience as some of you do who have lived it. But it's still obvious to see how disingenuous this is. Because let's be honest, like, you don't choose when you're black. You can't choose when people profile you. You don't choose when people choose to put stereotypes onto you. It's not a choice. Because the truth is, the world chooses it for you every day. Through how you're treated, through how you're perceived, and how you're policed, especially. So when black people actually do speak up about the racism that they do go through and the systems that they do have to maneuver through and try and find ways to work for them, it's not that they're trying to play the victim. It's literally trying to survive a system that was made to prevent you from winning. And don't get me confused. I know that you can obviously love your country and still call out its hypocrisy. And that isn't victimhood, that is literally accountability. And what the Hot Twins and Andrew Tate in this video are doing is deflecting. What they're trying to do is say, well, I've made it, I'm biracial, I'm a black guy, when I want to be. And, since I've been able to pull myself up from my bootstraps and make a life for myself, why can't you do it? Clearly, if you can't do it, that must mean that you're stupid, that you're genetically inferior. And that is literally the same sentiments that, caused so many things in the past to happen to black people. And that isn't reality, that's just survivor's bias.
No, it's really interesting. And also, pattern recognition isn't racism. We need to make that very clear. Like, if I think of a pedophile, I imagine a white man.
Yeah, right.
And if I think of gang shooting, I imagine a black man. Call me racist, but that's just what I imagine, right?
When I think of tacos, I think of Latinos.
Well, that's right. Yeah, 100%. Build the wall.
Okay. What they're trying to describe here is not intelligence. This pattern recognition that they're trying to, disguise as being an intelligent way of thinking, it's not. It's just programming. When you live your whole life and all you see in black people as in media and TV is, the headlines, black people being dangerous, black people being gangsters, black people being thugs. This isn't like some sort of intelligence where you're able to build some sort of idea of who these people are based on your own experiences. It's programming. There's a reason that you're seeing these images. There's a reason that you're seeing people from certain races in certain lights. It's not an accident. And this is called availability bias, not pattern recognition. Because here's the truth that people don't want to talk about for some reason. Most crimes happen between the same race. Oh, wow, amazing. Why crime exists, it just doesn't get talked about because it doesn't sound cool, it doesn't sound trendy, it's not interesting. It's just a fact of life. And that's simply because media doesn't sell the fear of white people, it sells the fear of black people. It's a lot easier to make people afraid of us because they don't understand who we are. So when they use this dangerous rhetoric of, pattern recognition and seeing patterns in races, what they're actually talking about is just seeing the stereotypes that are reinforced by years of propaganda. Nothing special here, just some brainwashing.
Culture on a long enough time frame becomes genetics. I mean, let's be honest. Is the average African as smart as the average Westerner? No. I would argue that if you go to the Central African Republic where they don't have schools and they don't have infrastructure and their parents haven't been to school and their grandparents haven't been to school, that probably they're not as smart as somebody who's their entire bloodline's been university educated. Probably that is true. So after a long enough time frame, it becomes genetic. And then you want to take enough of them and dump them over here and expect them to operate within complicated systems they don't fully understand. They're probably just going to say, fuck it, let's rob the store. And then you have, this is realism.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's not how DNA works. That's literally not how it works. With this pseudoscience that people like Andrew Tate love to use, it is so disingenuous. Because you don't inherit poverty or trauma through your chromosomes. But what you do inherit are the conditions that you're born in. Things like poor education, systemic neglect, generational trauma, and just stress. I think what they were trying to refer to is something called epigenetics, which studies how environments can, influence how genes form and genes mutate. But that doesn't mean that culture changes your DNA. But it does mean that trauma can obviously affect your health outcomes and your general mental health, but not your identity. Like the fact that they're trying to almost insinuate that violence is part of black people's DNA is insane. Like these are the same talking points that were used to enslave black people in the first place, that we were this race of people that were just inhumane and subhuman and 3/5 of a man, as they used to say. And it's just mad hearing it from these people that they're also black. That's the thing. So I know for a fact their comments are full of white people going, yeah, see, finally, they're saying what I've always known all along. Oh, it's not even funny. It's so fucked up because these are the perfect examples, the perfect candidates to spread this hatred because it sounds justified.
Because they're half black, so what they're saying must be true because they know the black experience, right? So if they're saying that black people are naturally violent, then maybe it's true. And I'm not racist for saying that and feeling that way. Because they're saying it now.
It's messed up. It really is. Because they're basically trying to attempt to say that black people are born broken, that they're born lazy, and it's racist, and it's just wrong. But what they're failing to acknowledge are the positive traits that is passed down through black people. Things like resilience, strength, adaptation. The ability to keep going and keep fighting even when the whole world is against you, because that's what it feels like sometimes. Okay, so I'll be honest, man, when you get ignorance and confidence, like people that are good at speaking, especially like Andrew Tate, you get content like this, where people just say dumb things with their whole chest and it just sounds right. Because they take half-truths, like take the context out of it, and then aim them back at their own people. This is typical raccoon behavior. And honestly, it's quite disappointing because I know people like Andrew Tate especially, I know the Hot Twins are kind of brain dead, but Andrew Tate, he's someone that does have intelligence. I know he's not stupid. So I know he's willingly and purposely saying this stuff. Probably has some rage bait. But it's so frustrating. Because conversations like this should be about progress, not just like shitting on black people. So no, Africa isn't a problem. Black people aren't inherently just dangerous and lazy and violent. That's never been the case. I'd argue maybe the people that are historically violent are the people that, you know, have enslaved and conquered countries and regions for years and have tried to erase their identity. But hey, that's just my opinion, you know. And our struggles are not genetic. They're a result of centuries of systems that have systematically been put in place to strip us of our identity and strip us of our ability to be ourselves and to live authentically. And now they're trying to convince us that it was our problem all along. Yeah, sure. All right, so if this video made you think, take a second to really think about it. And if it challenged you, sit with that. And if you want to dig deeper into how media has affected and manipulated the black identity, I really do suggest you watch this video. Anyway, catch you in the next one. Peace.